Overall
Again,
thoughts on again, yeah. Overall thoughts on the performance over the week.
brilliant. Listen, against as we discussed against psych, understanding the travel and all of them, but now doing it across the country. But the one word that is on my mind, and I told him, is proud. How proud I am of them, and how proud of what they've given to each other, also what they've given to the club. It's exceptional. You're asking a lot about a group. And you win the derby game. You could have gotten something, as we discussed against San Jose. It was not meant to be. You fly over the across the country to Miami, dealing with the humidity, dealing with all of that stuff, and creating your own luck. Was not an easy game, but I think was a deserved win in terms of striking at the right moments, playing what the game give you, slowing down at the right moments, and having a little bit of a football luck, which is also important, but it's something that also you have created, and they battle it. So proud, proud, proud of everything that they've have given us so far and continue to give. And we know that winning games also helps you with your confidence, helps you with team chemistry. But the biggest thing for me also have been we've stuck together regardless what has ever been, and that's something unique with this group.
Spoke about confidence there, and certainly one of your players has that. Sacco, 2 games, 4 goals. Again, like you said, back-to-back 3-0 wins
Mm.
when a guy scores 4 goals in 2 games. How high is this confidence, especially entering the USL Cup this week?
Sako's confidence has always been high, and he understands what is it. And the the biggest thing I'm most proud of Sako is how he's leading, like how he's becoming more of a leader, both on and off the field. Because he loves football, he loves and breathes football, and like I said, we continue to see the best of him. Even last year, coming off three preseason, when in Europe playing for a stretch of a year and a half. That a lot of people don't know, and but now you're seeing him has a vacation, has came back hungrier, more driven, and he's showing his true quality, and that's what I'm proud of as well. Seeing him mostly how he's leading his teammates and being more of a vocal leader, but also example on the pitch. We deserve all the credit coming through his way because he's also put in the work.
And then Dominique, 10 years, of course, in the MLS,
Yeah.
signing him this week. What have you made of him so far in the little time you've seen him?
No, listen, I've had the pleasure of not I think playing against him 1 or 2 games if I'm not wrong. But the biggest thing that you see is when we talk about experience in the little things that he did when he came into the game. One of them was when Sako was down, the first one to protect his teammate. Secondly, his football intelligence and understanding what is winning is about, because he's been part of organizations that I've played to win things. So to have him in and lead in his natural way, has been great. Having him here, and he's gonna be more and he's gonna be better for us throughout the season, and as well as mentoring a little bit of the younger players. And you could tell that he's earned the respect of the players as soon as he walked in because of who he is.
Besides the kind of leadership element of it, what elements of his skill set do you think complement what you're trying to do here with this team?
Well, obviously, again, he's a natural striker, but also can play multiple positions when needed. Uh, his aerial duels is very good. His hold up play is very good. Understanding, how to link up, because you look at the third goal that we scored. Kofamir's pass, of him first into Kelvin. So he's gonna give us a lot on and off the ball.
Spoke there how he seems more versatile. If when a guy's versatile and he's willing to play any part of the pitch, they can. So that's something that you guys took into account when it came to that scouting report.
Absolutely. We scouted what was our need because Carvajal is down. Knowing that we had Gunnar, knowing that we had Sako, but we needed that experience that could help us more. And I'm very happy with what we have and the way that we took our time and not rush into it.
And then kind of going back to those back-to-back 3-0 wins, momentum. There's a good amount of it. How do you kind of try and maintain it entering this week?
again, listen, it's winning habits is created because of the discipline that you have in your daily habits and in your daily work every single day, and not be high, not too low, but just trying to stay even kill and do the work. Because winning habits stem from the boring things that you do every day, which is having the habits, maintaining the habits, maintaining the standards, and not getting comfortable.
What do you think that, now Calvin's reintegrating back into the squad, got his first minutes? What do you think he can bring to the front line that maybe we haven't seen so far this season?
I mean, we saw it the first time that he played for 30 minutes. He's a creator on the ball. His work ethic off the ball, massive as well. Strong, good communicator on the field. So we've also an experienced player that have played in multiple different leagues in Europe and understand, and also a calm presence, which is also helpful when you have a younger group. So just who he is, and his character, and his eagerness, his willingness to do everything that is needed for the team. That is what we've missed, and it's great to have him back.
For him, obviously he moved across the world last year to
Yeah.
come here, plays for less than a game's worth of
Yeah.
minutes, and then is out injured for a
Yeah.
long period of time. How has he coped with that mentally, getting through the recovery?
Now, obviously, this is again the other part that you might not see as a footballer, the injuries that you have to deal with, what that does to you as a person as well, and it's never easy. But I think because he stood firm on his thought process and his habits and how his professionalism is every day, that has guided him and ready. And also, to be honest with you, the work that our performance coach Devin and head athletic coaches Greg Spence and Rafa Lopez have done has been tremendous job. All credit to them, together with the players sticking to the plan, and and gradually getting him to where we need to be. Especially knowing also that it's a very very long season in the USL, in America in general. So I mean, I'm very happy with the work that our medical and sports science department has done.
With New Mexico and Miami, you both took early 1-0 lead,
Yeah.
and obviously came away with 3 points. How do you make sure the boys don't get complacent entering the second half? Now have you just seen them kind of take that and just make sure they're always walking away with all 3 points?
Listen, we knew that we were tired, right? We knew we were tired going across the country. So for me, this going into the second half was more about mentality and how you control your thoughts, because I think that was very important. How you control your thoughts, not giving away things, staying focused in the game, and I promised them that they could have my credit card if they came out with the win. So that was a little bit of a motivational for them, hopefully. But again, I think just how they prepared themselves, and I think it also helped. When you have spent 5 days to be able to do other things, which was one of them was going to the beach, for an hour just to see and do something different. I think is very important for the chemistry and team bonding, and also the speech of Daniel before the game was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you talk about getting people fired up, and you really got the boys fired up for the game, and the boys took it to heart, his message, and even me, I was ready to play. So having that, everybody chipped in, and that's what I said to them this morning. Just proud of how the players, the staff, dealt with it and learned from our lessons in Sacramento. That was also very important as well, because this was our seventh game in a 3 week span. That's not easy, and doing it, but we're building a momentum, and when you build momentum, is keeping it day by day. We can't jump ahead of us, but just keep coping, taking it day by day.
You guys have asked a lot out of Zaire Ramirez, obviously starting against San Jose and then getting his first start in the championship against Miami. And what have you guys seen from him, and how has he progressed in kind of facing that adversity, being put in big spots like that?
Nah, he's ready. Listen, when you have people that love what they do and they see the opportunities there, our job is to create and provide opportunities when people deserve it, and I've earned it. Right, he has earned it through his hard work. Off season and into the preseason, he's put himself in contention. And for me, when people put themselves in contention, you reward them. And I think when he got his opportunity against San Ramon, he showed what he could do with an assist. Against OC, he took another step in the right direction, and there's no better opportunity than going into a MLS stadium playing against MLS players to measure yourself. And I think he did a decent job in that. And obviously, knowing that we need to shuffle the back line, we trust our kids. We're not afraid to put our kids in because they show us day in day out that they're ready for this opportunity. Now, as a coach, it's my job together with my staff to make sure that also we provide these opportunities for them.
And then also on Sakho's third goal, the telecast kind of showed your celebration. How much did that moment mean to the team, especially how the season has progressed so far, and then obviously a back-to-back brace for him, and just what was that overall moment like for the team?
Overall, I was so happy for them. That's what I say. I was so happy for them because they deserve it. And sometimes for the outside world, for the external world, you don't get to see. You only get to see what happens on Saturday. But for us as coaches, it's the process of and the progress of seeing the daily work. And that we talk about rewarding, and they are starting to reward themselves. And for a coach and coaching staff, there's no greater feeling than seeing players reward themselves because of the work that they put in day out. So to see the team celebrate and to see the work that they put in, and you talk about that, a great example, DJ, who gave us everything that he had on San Jose, turned around to me and telling me, listen, I'm effed. I'm totally drained, right? And I respect that because then you use it also as a motivation for the oncoming players. Jean-Eric, who was on the bench, came in, was fantastic in second half, So all of these things was great to see how the cohesion, the chemistry, and, you knew. I knew it was very tough. We knew as a staff also that it would be a tough game, but this showed a character and also, I believe, a statement to who we are and who we're going to continue to be.
Any other questions in the room? Coach, we've spoken a lot about offense. I want to look at the other side of the ball real quick.
Yeah.
A couple of big wins, but even with a lot of the draws and a couple of losses on the season, you're not giving up very many goals. What does that speak to the character of your defense as well as your goalkeepers?
Absolutely. Again, listen, we have when you talk about it, right, we say defense starts from the front, right? And when the strikers are doing their job, the midfielders doing their job, defenders have less to do. But when the great moments are there for the defenders to step up, they have stepping up. Are we happy? No, we still want to be the team that concede the least goals, and it starts with, again, clean sheet helps you build that confidence, build that momentum, and we have guys that love defending and take pride in defending. So the more that we get everybody gelling in, because we have also rotated a lot of pieces, but that's the beauty of the game. But the defense have the last two games, not only defense, everybody have shown up, and when you do that time after time, you build that great trust that they have amongst themselves, and that will continue to do. And obviously we started with C in goal, and we went to Patrick, and I think both have handled it very well, and gives us great choices that we want to make. That's what you want. You want to have a team that gives you, as a head coach, headache to make lineup decisions. So and I'm grateful for that.
And how do you manage that headache? Because you have two, I would say at least, very good goalkeepers. Just, is there a method to the madness, or let's go with this hand and then this hand for a little bit?
No, sometimes it's about also a feeling. Sometimes it's about what the group needs, and sometimes it's about motivation as well. To both of them. And I think if both of them are capable of being match winners, both of them are capable of doing anything that we ask them to do. So when you look at that, for me, that's the best thing you can have. Rather than having doubt, now we have belief, and nothing beats that when you have two great goalkeepers that we truly believe in, all of us, and even the players. Where they go and ask who's going to play. So that is a great problem to have.
You mentioned Darnell earlier giving a speech for the game.
Mm-hmm.
In your time here, how have you seen him come on as a coach and improve?
Well, he's developing and improving as a coach. Obviously, when you are a player, you're always going to be playing hard, and we don't want him to lose that either. and he's developing the other side of being a coach. Taking in the things that we want him to be every single day. We're seeing progress and his growth in him, and it's a great pleasure to work with him daily because he has the desire and the humbleness to want to learn and keep learning. And him, Corey are massive pieces to us, to to my, to myself, given that they understand this club as well. They understand everything that goes around. So seeing him and his development as a coach has been great, and he's going to continue to become a very good coach.